Going on YouTube today is NPBA semifinals versus Coach Pitroskiwitz and the Cherry Grove Chickaritas. They are the 7th seed despite being 6-3 plus 5. And obviously we rematched, or this is a rematch. I played Pitroskiwitz in week 5 after my 2 game losing streak. So this is a little bit of plot armor, right? Pitroskiwitz is, I believe, 8-1. No, maybe. I don't know. I may have done that math wrong. It's 7-1 or 8-1 in the last 8 or 9 games played in NPBA. And that one loss was against me. I broke the streak, and now this also has plot armor because if you guys don't remember, or if you do remember, in the Hoenn Division in power rankings, Pitroskiwitz was 2-3 with like a -3 differential. And I personally came out and said, don't be surprised if this guy's in the playoffs. He's my bet to make it far because he's got a good team, obviously great skill, and now he's got the chance to knock me out of playoffs. But if I win this game, I get to play in the championship. So it's very stressful. And in case you didn't watch the last video I played against this guy, let's look at the matchup. As you can see, he's got some huge threats like Latios, Scizor, Azumarill, Kartana, and Mamoswine. That's the main 5 I'm focused on. Those are the biggest offensive threats on team. The other stuff is supporting. It's almost kind of built like my team. You got your offensive threats like Chiyu, Iron Bundle, Ursaluna, Bulu, Jolteon, and then you got a bunch of supporting ones that do it well. Um, that being said, 2 of his top mons, Scizor and Cortana, have a really not great matchup into me, which makes building a little bit easier. Speaking of building, I'm just going to go straight into the team building because that way I don't have to theory mon as much. So the first thing I want to bring, because it absolutely shut him down the first time I played him, is Salamence. It's a weird Salamence that I was debating on everything until about 5 minutes before we played. I settled on Habanberry, which, in case you don't know, is the Dragon Resist berry. Um, I had Yachi on it originally for like Mamoswine or Ice Spinner from Azu, or even a random Terrablast Ice from Rotom because that was honestly scary to me. It like Ice Punch from Scrafty. But I went for Habanberry because Latios was messing me up in about every mock I did. So I also changed this to mainly Spadef with just Flamethrower, Roost, Hurricane, Draco Meteor. Same set as last time because it just messes the entire team up. It just chips stuff down. Now, this is a defensive stalwart. As you saw last time, it takes a crap ton of hits and can just roost them off and just get tank hits and just recover all the HP back. It's super good into his team, like I said earlier. And he doesn't really have a specific answer for it because of Terra. Obviously, he doesn't know what Terra I am, which is good. But I went Terra Electric to resist the steel moves from Kartana and Scizor, while also um, ensuring that Rotom can't touch me. And that's about it. I could have went water. Water made incredible sense, but Rotom was being the most annoying mon of all time in my mocks. I swear, somehow, this thing was more annoying than anything I've ever faced all season. So I went Electrico for water. It's whatever. The EVs are just spread out all over the place. Just know that's mainly here to take special hits and intimidate stuff. Next, we have the pest control fortress, nicknamed pest control because Cartana, Azumarill, and Scizor, even Mamoswine are insane just threats to my team. Honestly, I didn't feel confident just having a Salamence. I felt like I needed something else to absorb the hits and just in general be able to deal with those three mons because they're what I was worried about the most. They were threat number one, public enemy number one, and I just decided to have another mon dedicated to it because Fortress was so good, and the alternates for my team were not that good. Um, like I said, it's the same deal. Sound. It's just no, it's mostly physically based. Rocky Helmet because it's a great item on Fortress with body press, gyro ball, rapid spin, stealth rock, rapid spin, obviously to spin away the Mamoswine rocks, and stealth rock is pretty good into his team. And body press gyro ball is basically to just hit mons without having to use the pretty pitiful attack stat. Now, gyro ball does use it, but also gets more powerful the slower you are, which means it's going to be a really powerful steel attack. Next, we have the late game cleaner, Iron Bundle with a booster energy, enough speed to outrun Persian because while I was prepping, I realized that Fake Out, Silk Scarf, Terra Normal, Fake Out, Last Resort, Persian actually kind of goes into my team. I was starting to worry about it being viable because I only prepped for the 110s in Gengar and Latios. Persian's 115. So I speed prep for that, but I also just ran Modest Nature Iron Bundle, get the most special attack I can while getting a speed boost for boost energy, basically for Scarf Latios, Scarf Gengar, Scarf Cartana, whatever it is, I'm gonna outspeed it, and that's super important in the late game. And obviously, Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump because I can, and it goes insano mode. And I had Encore for stuff like Calm Mind, Latios for even stuff like Bulk Up Scrafty, Belladrum Azu for some reason. It just, there wasn't a better move, to be quite frank with you. Like, yeah, I could have had Flip Turn or U Turn, but then I'm wasting the booster energy, so I really did not see the value in having a different fourth move because Encore can always come in handy when you when you least expect it. And so just have it on there. I didn't know if I was gonna be clicking or not, but with Iron Bundle you're usually not clicking the fourth move. Um yeah, so next we have the hybrid threat Jolteon, nicknamed hybrid threat because it can be a breaker, but it can also be a late game sweeper with the choice specs Volt Absorb, Terra Water, like I did last time, to resist the bullet punches, the Aqua Jets, the Ice Shards, while also being able to hit Mamoswine for super effective damage, hit Entei for super effective damage. Uh, Additionally, it's got Volt Absorb, so it's a water type with only one weakness, being Grass, which he does not have on his team. It just looked too good to pass up. Choice specs with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Terra Blast, and Shadow Ball. I believe this same move set last time too, but it's just so good into his team. Shadow Ball hitting Latios and Gengar, and then Terra Blast and Volt Switch hitting everything else super, or at least, what's it called? Regularly effectively, or just effectively. Except for Cartana, but Cartana has 31 SPDF, so it's probably not living anyways. Let's be real. And this thing he didn't really have a great switch into it. If I can make simple 50-50 reads sometimes, then this thing is going to be an uber threat, a goober threat, if you will. Now, penultimately, we have the Special Sponge, Ursaluna with the Assault Vest. I believe this is also the same set as the last time. And you may be thinking, J Sauce, what the hell are you doing? He's got prep for this. I know, but literally, the problem with this team, facing against this team is, yeah, I have good mons into it, but it's the same 6 or 7 mons in the same sets. So I did try to go outside the box. I did try to build for some other stuff. It just never ended up working. I always came back to the same mods I had, the same sets, because they're so good. I prepped so well the first time. It may be coming back to haunt me in the ass. Who knows? But um, bulletproof with just this nice, what's it called? EV spread. I could tell you, I could not tell you the calcs, but I know it's calced for something. 20 speed is just to outspeed creep the speed creep from Asu. Uh, Pretty much max special defense for because Latios is a threat because fuck Rotom Fan is a threat and can't touch me because I could have guts. Now I did upload this team, but I could have sworn I had guts on this guy because he'd be expecting the bulletproof. I'm not sure if I did in the game or not, but we'll see. That being said, 4 moves: Return, Stone Edge, Crunch, Fire Punch. Nothing resists all of these. It's just a very good moveset to have because I have returned the other 3 fill niches. So I think that Ursaluna's just gonna go ham. It takes a crap ton of hits, completely walls Gengar if I'm bulletproof, um, which I seem to be. It's just you could argue that you don't need a special wall, but Latios was absolutely tearing my shit up during the mocks. And I was super scared of it because there's like 4 different sets that worked against me, equally as destructive, but it's whatever. That's kind of why I have this guy, like a surf from Timid Latios, I believe, is doing like 30. Like, it's not that much. But finally, we actually do have a new mod for this team. Last time I brought Screentail with Mabiri Berry. This time I just bring Chi-Yu to be the main breaker. I need this thing to open up holes for the late game. And with Choice Scarf, Timid Nature to outspeed Scarfente, I believe I have it. Overheat, Ruination, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse. Choice Scarf Ruination is for the Azumarill because it's the obvious switch into this. And if I can ruinate him on a switch, get it down to 50, knowing it's most likely going to be Assault Vest, and knowing its movesets can't heal back, so that means that it's permanently at 50, and then Shiyu goes in later, or Iron Bundle or Jolteon. That's the plan. Um, Overheat because it's such a high base power move. Flamethrower, Dark Pulse because they're standard, they're accurate, they're powerful. And coming from Chi, there's not really going to be much switching on his team. I mean, obviously you have Azu World, but outside of Azu, Chi does kind of just run through him. So I'm hoping Chi as good in the battle as it is on paper. And I believe that's all I need to explain about this team. The game plan is to chip stuff down with these 3 and wall some stuff. gets some chip down, and then GU breaks, gets in and breaks, and maybe Jolteon, but eventually Jolteon Iron Bundle have a pretty safe late game where they could just pick up kills from said Chipmons. Now, if I had to predict what 6 he's bringing, I think if I'm him, I bring. I could see any of one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Any of these eight. But if I were him, I think I bring Latios, Azu, Rotom, Scrafty, Entei Mamoswine, and then Scizor could substitute that. It's a really weird matchup into my team. But let's just go ahead and get to the battle. This is semifinals. Seven Deadly Centrets versus Cherry Grove Chikorritas. I see the team. Immediately, I see no Kartana, no Scizor, no Azumarill. I do see a Gengar, which I found weird because Gengar gets essentially completely walled by Ursaluna with Bulletproof. And, uh, 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 other than that, I noticed Entei, which I did expect to come, but I just don't know what set it is. Could be physical, could be special, could be bulky, could be choice. Rotom's always going to be annoying with Pain Split and Volt Switch and Defog. It's probably just a standard set. Latios, like I said, it could be Specs, Scarf, Agility, Weakness Policy. It could be a lot of different things. Mamoswine, personally, I think is going to be AV or Sash Lead. Um, I think it's going to be AV, so it can maybe take an Iron Bundle Hydro Pump, doubtful, or a Jolteon Terra Blast Water. I could also see Pasho Bear, but that seems very reliant on my Jolteon being Terra Blast Water, and I brought that last time. Well, I had my sound on. I leave Jolteon like I plan to do because if he goes, man, that's what I like last time. I just Terra Blast Water, and overall, it just has a very good matchup lead into his team. I kind of expected Mamoswine because he seems to lead that often. At least early games, he leads Latios. Um, I speed creep this, but I did not want to risk him being Scarf and knocking me out turn one. So I go into my dedicated check, which is my Ursaluna. He Psyshock, Smart Brain. This 44. I calc this is not max attack or max attack or modest. This is actually a relatively uninvested Latios, unless I calc wrong. But he goes into Rotom Fan. Immediately I misplay. I click Crunch for the extra 10% on Latios instead of clicking Return. And as you'll see in a moment, I get flinched. Don't get flinched here. Return would have done 42, which yes would have got me Pain Split, but that 42 would have been so nice. Now, I expect him to go Gengar here on the second return because I don't think he's going to want to lose this thing or risk it, and he's not really doing anything back. But he does play me for +5. I crunch. Now, knowing he can't do anything to me, I should crunch here again on the Gengar. But I expected the Scrafty to come out, so I just clicked return. As he does go Gengar on the return, which is bad, puts me in a bad position. I should have just crunched there. I crunch here because he's got to be pretty bulk invested to live. Now, he Giga Drains me. I live on 2 due to my investment, but Crunch only does 83. I'm calculating that's a very, very bulky Gengar. Like, very physically bulky. Um, he kills me, but he reveals he's Scarf as I go Jolteon. Good thing I didn't Terra Water here. I wasn't really thinking about it. I just Shadow Ball because I could not risk the Thunderbolt into, you know, this guy, Mamoswine, and even Latios to an extent. I did not mention the Terra Fairy on Rotom. I was kind of prepping for it because, like I said, um, Salamence went in. I was not expecting Terra Fairy necessarily because now, what's his name? Now, Fortress gets to hit super effectively, but it makes a lot of sense considering my Fairy Beaters are Tentacruel and a Fortress. He does disable me. That is kind of dog shite because obviously I'm choice specs. Now I'm forced to switch out. Like, I'd switch out anyways here. But he wouldn't bring this in if I was. Um, if I didn't get disabled, I don't think at least. And so I'm in kind of a tough spot. I expected him to go for a dragon move because, if he Psyshocks, I have freaking Chi right here. And any dragon move from a max attack Latios, which um, I know that I count it and it's not max special attack, but Chi still probably dies. So I believe, yes, I go Hard Fortress. He goes for a Future Sight. I believe I take this opportunity to get up rocks. I do. Now, I will say there's one mock I played where I'm in this exact situation. Entei clicks, Stone Edge, my Salamence dies, and I about lose the game instantly. So I stay in, knowing that yes, I have my sturdy still up, but I doubt he expects me to stay in because why would I? So he goes for toxic. I get chip off with body press. Future sight does 40, which is stupid. So I go straight into Salamence as inner focus blocks intimidate, which sucks. Esager fires me, gets the burn, which isn't the biggest of deals because I'm a special attacker this week, but it still sucks because Chip is Chip. He goes out to Rotom Fan. I miss a Hurricane, which I don't think kills, and then he pain splits me, but it would have been a huge hit because I can always crit, confuse, uh, play around the pain split with this if I just get a couple more hurricane hits, or I could go into something like Fortress. There's ways to do it. Um, it just sucks that I missed that. Like I said, it doesn't kill, but now I just go straight to Chi, knowing that he'd want to defog or Volt Switch on out. I could have went Jolteon, but I'm super scared of that Mamoswine, and it's just I need Jolteon to be a late game sweeper here rather than a wall breaker. But I go Chi on the pain split, which I actually think that's what I was expecting. And then I flamethrower here. The correct play was probably to ruinate, in case he went into this, which it's probably AV, or even if he went to Entei. But I just flamethrower, expecting it to do more, only 30%. I go out to Fortress on a good double from his part. Now I should have went Salamence in hindsight. I don't know what I was expecting, whether it be a knock or something else. But Poet makes a good double. I stay in again trying to get hit. My brain was just not working here. Um, I figured he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to toxic again on the Salamence, forgetting that my Salamence was burned and cannot be toxic. And let's see, what's it called? Sacred Fire did 25 last time. I could take it, take another one, roost up. Uh, it was definitely a huge mistake letting this thing go, but does grant me a free switch in. So, as much as it's, and he reveals heavy duty boots, as much as it sucks because he's got something like Mamoswine and Scrafty, I think I can live without it. That was a blunder, but it's fine. Um, Lives, I go Iron Bundle because I didn't really have a better choice. Like, I could have went Jolteon and Terra Blast Water, but then he just goes into Latios, and then we're in a pretty bad position. I could have went Chiyu, click Dark Pulse. First off, I think this probably lives, and then he's got a quad resist and a resist. It just didn't feel like a good move for me. So I proc my booster energy. I Hydro Pump, knowing that if he stays in, he's taking a lot. If he goes Latios, he takes a Hydro Pump that dies the next turn. It really didn't have any switch ins, and Iron Bundle misses, which is huge because I'm fairly certain this thing dies, or at least close. It dies to a Hydro Pump into a Freeze Dry or Ice Beam. But instead I miss, so I have to go straight into Jolteon. He misses an Air Slash, whoop de fucking da. But knowing that Mamoswine's a huge possibility of coming out, I just Terra Blast Water. Um, because I'm choice specs and he can't touch me. No. This is why I said Iron Bundle I think is gonna kill, because my Jolteon did. Now I know it's two different items because it's choice specs versus non-boosted. I go with Salamence on a potential dragon move. If he wants a Draco, then I get free switch in. I'm kind of sacking it because looking at his team, I don't really need it anymore. Scrafty's gonna be annoying, but I just don't think I need it. And he just clicks Psyshock. Burn takes me down to one. Just Psyshocks again. And I think this thing is Scarf or Specs, but I'm guessing Scarf. So I just go into my fish. I click Overheat because I think he's going to Scrafty, obviously. Which, in hindsight, I don't know. It's a blunder, but I don't have any regrets here because if I Dark Pulse, sure I die, but I did expect him to stay in. I did expect him to go Scrafty. So yes, this if he went Scrafty, this would have put me in a weird spot. It's probably taken him down to like 20, and then I don't know. I think two could kill. Really think that's why I did it, because I think two could have killed Scrafty. Um, but instead, he stays in, which we are outsped. Click Psyshock, and I'm forced to switch out because I'm not forced to switch out, but I know Iron Bundle can take a Psyshock and will out. Actually, that was a super risky play because I did not know that Iron Bundle would outspeed, but I kind of took the chance that this was not Scarf, even though the damage it did not make sense in the calcs. Now, maybe I was calcing Latias, or maybe I was just calcing wrong. But I just didn't really feel like this was Scarf, or at least not fast enough to outspeed. And so this puts me in a weird position because I need Scrafty low. If Scrafty gets low, Jolteon wins from here. It clicks Terra Blast 3 times and it wins. Now, he has Drain Punch and I believe Heavy Duty Boots, unless. No Heavy Duty Boots. So, I'm going to do a handy dandy calc for you. Let's see how much attack was my Iron Bundle. 176 modest. Okay. I was gonna calc for 172 because I can't. Honest versus crafty. Bulk up. I was gonna say it's 252. Hydro pump does 34, or ice beam does 34 max. He gets 23 back from recover. Let's base this off high rolls. So he gets negative 10 damage, which is at 58, which means he's taking 48. Um, I'm actually gonna pull up another calc because I think this is important. Um, Proteon, I'm sorry, this video is probably gonna drag out. Let's say modest Terra water Terra blast on there. Okay, okay. Let's see. Whoops. So Terra blast is doing 44. So like I said, I was calculating this. Ice beam on a high roll brings him down net 10, which is a 48, which means that Terra blast cannot kill afterwards, and yes, maybe I Thunderbolt and then switch out, sack my Shiyu, and then come back. But I felt like I had to win. So I felt like my odds were best if I clicked Hydro Pump because let's say it does 40. Uh, actually, hold up. I've been doing this calc wrong because I'm at 30%. Uh, looks like it doesn't matter. Okay. Um, so yeah, let's say Hydro Pump does 40. He gets 20 back. He's at 38, which means I literally am basically guaranteed to kill. So I'm running these calcs. I decided to click Hydro Pump because if I hit, I win. I think. Now, all depends on the sets on Mammoth Swine and Entei, but, but it's all but guaranteed to win. So what do? I click Hydro Pump. Fucking no fear in my heart. I already missed one. It's whatever. It's like 85% accuracy. It's very unlikely for me to miss two. So I do the thing. This motherfucker, oh my fuck. Fraudulent ass, the fucking MVP race the entire fucking year just to fucking choke my playoff run. Just to. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Iron Fraud fucking sells my season by missing a Hydro Pump. I hit this move, there's a chance I go to fucking championship. And who knows? Who knows what happens? I'm sorry I'm getting a little salty. I've been trying to run through this, and quite frankly, I know there's multiple different moves I could have done better. I know that this is literally the game we play every time we play a Pokemon battle. Every time we click a turn, it's a roll of the dice. It's a roll of the dice. It's the game. It's whatever. I'm just gonna let the rest of the battle play out. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna yap, not about my moves. But GG, well played to Pitroskiwitz. Epic rematch. This guy is the real deal. Um, yeah, I mean, I just got out prepped and outplayed, to be honest. Um, outplayed and out prepped, and there's not really. There's more optimal plays I could have made. Hindsight's 2020. I'm not trying to scrap my opponent at all. Love that guy. Super nice. I'm sorry to pause a lot. I'm sorry this is such a long video, but it's whatever. It's a playoff semis match, right? There's going to be a lot to talk about. I'm going to be analyzing every move, and I thank you so much for all of the support and all of the love that you've been sharing this entire season and just for making it this far in the video. It means so much to me. And um, I hope you stay tuned in with PEL and with NPBA Season 9 eventually. I am going to get promoted to Jodo, but I paused right here. And I maybe think this last turn of the battle, because as I pulled up the calc, Terrablast only does 44 max. He's at 45, so you might think this last turn of the battle. We crit these, which hindsight, if he was not max special defense, may not have mattered. But Entei does have extreme speed, sealing the game and my fate. It's whatever. I've had a few days to mull this over. I played, what was that? Wednesday night? I'm recording this Saturday night. I mean, you can see the time at the bottom. It's 2 in the morning on Sunday morning. Um, I've had days to mull this over. It's whatever. It's the game we play. Can't be mad. I got promoted. I got ranked number 1. I've had a hell of a season. Pitroskiwitz, if you're still watching, go win this fucking season. Please do it. GG, well played to everyone. Again, thank you for your support. And I'll see you guys in the next one, which actually I may be doing an end of the season recap. It's going to go up next Sunday. Basically, just going to be some awards, just explanation, event ceremony. And I hope you all go to it. But yeah, that's going to be all for me today. Tune in Wednesday for PL Week 2 and next Sunday for the award ceremony and season recap. And deuces.